Welcome to Space Matrix. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more updates. A perfect storm is brewing on the American economic horizon, with Trump's tariffs clashing with Walmart's strategic retreat. This isn't just a headline, it's a tremor threatening local economies, testing the fabric of Main Street America. Tonight, we cut through the noise to uncover the real-world consequences for American families and businesses. Texas, often celebrated for its robust economic engine and reputation as a business-friendly powerhouse, now finds itself at a crossroads. The Lone Star State has long thrived on its diverse industries, from oil and gas to technology and retail, drawing people and companies from across the nation with promises of opportunity and growth. But today, Texas faces a ripple effect from tariffs on goods imported from China and Mexico, two of its largest trading partners. These tariffs, intended to protect American industries, are instead sending shockwaves through the state's interconnected supply chains, raising costs for businesses both large and small. Walmart, a retail giant with deep roots in Texas, has begun to pull back, citing the mounting pressure of rising costs. This move doesn't just threaten jobs on the sales floor, it reverberates through entire communities, affecting local economies and family livelihoods. The story unfolding in Texas is one of unintended consequences. Retail and logistics jobs, once considered stable, are now at risk as companies struggle to adapt to the new economic reality. Distribution centers and warehouses, vital cogs in the state's economic machine, are feeling the strain. Small businesses that supply giants like Walmart are facing tough choices of their own. Many must decide whether to absorb the rising costs themselves, cut back on staff, or even close their doors for good, each option carrying its own set of hardships for workers and owners alike. The economic model that Texas has relied on, built on the free flow of goods and competitive pricing, is beginning to break down. The aftershocks are being felt in higher prices at the checkout, reduced consumer spending, and shrinking tax revenues that fund essential public services. As uncertainty looms, the stakes for Texas couldn't be higher. The state's economic gamble is testing the resilience of its people, its businesses, and its future prosperity. California, a gateway for Asian imports, is ground zero for tariff impacts. Walmart's recalibration due to tariffs affects logistics and agriculture, with fewer jobs and higher costs. The state's economy, built on global trade, faces friction and uncertainty. As Walmart pulls back, California's vulnerability to global economic shifts is exposed. The economic anxiety stretches from the docks of Long Beach to Sacramento's malls. Florida's economy, long celebrated for its vibrant tourism and thriving agriculture, is now feeling the pressure of rising living costs and economic uncertainty. From the bustling beaches to the orange groves that define the state's landscape, every corner is touched by these changes. Tourists still flock to the Sunshine State, but behind the scenes, local businesses and workers are facing mounting challenges. The recent contraction of Walmart, a retail giant and major employer, has sent shockwaves through communities. Each closure leaves behind empty storefronts and parking lots, creating employment vacuums that ripple outwards, affecting not just Walmart workers but also the small businesses that relied on the foot traffic these stores once brought. Small businesses now face a double bind, grappling with higher costs from tariffs on imported goods, while also seeing fewer customers walk through their doors. Reduced consumer spending means less revenue, making it even harder for these entrepreneurs to keep their lights on and their employees paid. The untold story of the trade war here isn't about high-level strategy or international negotiations. It's about the daily struggle for survival, families tightening their budgets, small enterprises fighting to stay afloat, and entire communities feeling the weight of economic uncertainty. As Walmart signals distress and more businesses shutter their doors, Florida's economic forecast grows increasingly cloudy, leaving many to wonder what the future holds for the Sunshine State's hard-working residents and entrepreneurs. Ohio, promised a manufacturing revival, faces a cruel irony as tariffs raise costs for essential inputs. Walmart's pullback erases jobs, creating a feedback loop of economic decline. The connection between manufacturing and retail struggles is direct, with tariffs acting as a straitjacket. Ohio's progress is threatened, leaving communities in uncertainty. The manufacturing renaissance seems a mirage as Walmart retreats. Pennsylvania's diverse economy is hit from multiple angles by tariffs and Walmart's instability. Walmart's adjustments send tremors through communities, affecting jobs and local economies. The impact is personal, creating a crisis of confidence and economic anxiety. The state's balance is thrown into chaos, with tariffs disrupting industry and Walmart threatening the consumer market. Pennsylvania faces a pincer movement squeezing communities from both sides. Georgia, long celebrated as the Peach State, has an agricultural sector deeply intertwined with global markets. But now, that proud legacy faces a harsh new reality. Walmart, the retail giant, is exerting unprecedented pressure on local producers, forcing them to adapt or risk being left behind. The state's farmers, who once thrived on international exports, are now caught in a retail reckoning that threatens their livelihoods and the future of Georgia agriculture. As Walmart tightens its sourcing requirements and shifts its focus, Georgia's farmers are losing access to international markets and struggling to compete at home. Unsold crops pile up at local stands, while supermarket shelves grow sparse. The pressure is mounting and many farmers are left with few options. The ripple effects extend far beyond the fields. Logistics and transportation sectors are hit hard, with idle trucks, silent ports, and empty loading docks signaling a slowdown. Jobs disappear, and the economic engine that once powered rural communities begins to sputter. Across the state, from Atlanta's skyline to the smallest rural towns, the consequences are visible. Tariffs have severed vital trade relationships, and Walmart's shifting strategies have destabilized the local market, leaving communities struggling to adapt. The result is a bitter harvest for Georgia. Farmers, workers, and small business owners alike face uncertainty, hardship, and a future that feels more fragile than ever before. Illinois faces economic fallout on two fronts: urban logistics and rural agriculture. Tariffs raise costs for manufacturers, impacting retail and logistics sectors. Walmart's retreat devastates local economies, erasing jobs and tax bases. Rural communities suffer from agricultural depression, affecting the entire economy. Illinois is squeezed by tariffs and Walmart's strategic retreat, spreading pain statewide. North Carolina's diverse economy faces industrial pressure and Walmart's strategic shifts. Walmart closures threaten family stability, with rising costs impacting budgets. The hidden tax of the trade war burdens ordinary people, forcing difficult financial choices. Local businesses suffer as Walmart's pullback erodes consumer bases and tax revenue. The state's economy is battered, with families navigating rising costs and shrinking opportunities. Michigan's auto industry faces a double-edged sword with tariffs raising production costs. Walmart's cost pressures lead to store closures, delivering a second blow to communities. Higher car and goods prices squeeze consumer spending, creating a vicious cycle. Michigan's economic recovery is threatened by trade policy and Walmart's retreat. The promise to help auto workers rings hollow as jobs and living costs are pressured. Arizona, reliant on cross-border trade, faces an economic earthquake from tariffs and Walmart's pullback. Walmart's foundational presence is threatened, risking thousands of jobs. The state's economy, tied to construction and real estate, is sensitive to consumer confidence. Arizona embodies the perfect storm, with trade disruptions and Walmart's retreat threatening prosperity. The state faces a perilous and uncertain road ahead. Across the country, a trade policy meant to protect workers creates unintended consequences. The 10 states examined are on the front lines, with tremors felt everywhere. With Walmart retreating and tariffs taking their toll, these states face an uncertain future.